Ladies and gentlemen, it's finally here, the debut of the Brad Powers release show right here on Hit the Books. I'm the man normally behind the scenes, better known if you're watching Hit the Books Monday and Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern time as producer Zach. But obviously, I'm here with the guy that you are all here to see, the godfather of college football betting, Brad Powers. Brad, how's it going this morning? Monday, Labor Day morning. How are you feeling today?
Let's go. I mean, this is where it really begins. I got one data point that I can try to analyze, maybe overreact, underreact to, and feels like finally a regular normal game week.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking, you go through looking at week 0 and week 1 schedules and slates for so long, you kind of just kept saying like, hey, I'm ready to get into week 2, get a clean slate, get a refreshed slate. So finally here, we're going to get into the pick later on. So we'll talk a little bit before we do that about kind of the process that we're going to go through each week. But before I even get into that, I want to remind people that this show is sponsored by BetStamp. BetStamp is the easiest way to improve as a sports bettor, using multiple sports books and always getting the best odds. We recommend using an odds comparison tool like BetStamp to help you do so. BetStamp compares odds across every sports books for whether it's games, futures, or player props. You can save time and money by checking BetStamp before you bet. Make sure to download the app today. The link is in the description. You can also sign up for any of those sports books in there by clicking that link. It does help support the show, so make sure to do that. Brad, before we get into this pick, I just want to kind of ask you a little bit about the process that we're going to go through here for people who may be new to the release shows and stuff, but what can we kind of expect every Monday from you in these release shows? Maybe how many picks? What's the process going to look like? Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we're going to start off slow here. I get it's Labor Day. It's a brand new show. It's early for those people on the West Coast, 6 a.m. So to get the gist of it, we're just going to go one pick today. But typically, I'll give out any 2, 3, maybe 4 picks, depending on where I see value on a week in and week out basis. And it also depends, how quickly the books are posting lines. I thought they were relatively quick last night, seeing it for week 2. But we'll see. They might be slower next week because they're dealing with an NFL Sunday. So I'm at the mercy of the book sometimes. We want to make it fair that there's at least enough outs for people to get a hold of. So I'm guessing it's going to be a lot more sides than totals at this point.
Okay, and the other thing I'm going to ask you here, we see a lot of people playing picks that are given out on release shows, and they kind of push the number way farther than it should, but they just trust it because, hey, it was given out on such and such show. This person gave it out. Now, for the sake of people watching these, maybe they're watching it later in the day, or maybe the number gets gone a little bit too quickly before they can even get to it. What would you recommend people playing the pick to that you give out? Do you have a range that you'd say, hey, cut it off there, this is where I'd be comfortable to? Do they have to play the exact same number as you? What's your advice on that?
No, when I give out the pick, I'll give the buy price. Obviously, you always prefer to get it at that exact price, especially if it's around a key number. But it's early in the week. There's going to be some leeway here. There's going to be some leeway, obviously, because it's week 2 and not week 12. So I'll always say buy price. If you're late to the party and can't get the absolute best number, again, when I'm giving out a pick on a Monday morning, you would hope that I'm thinking that there's a little bit more than just a half point of value on a side.
All right. Let's get into the pick here to give people a little bit of a preview of how this will go. I'll give you the general area to go, the date, the time, that kind of thing. Then we'll throw it over to Brad, and he will give you the pick for each pick that we give out. Before I get to that, I'm just going to tee you guys up for it a little bit here. We're looking at Saturday, September 9th here, 7 p.m. Eastern time range. So that's where the game will be. Then I'll throw it over to Brad. But before I throw it to Brad here, really quick, we have 400 people watching right now, watching this live stream, Brad, for the first ever release show. There's not nearly enough likes on this stream that we're seeing. I'm seeing about 45 people have liked this right now. So make sure to like, subscribe here to the Hit the Books HQ YouTube channel, as well as turn on notifications so you get notified every single time we go live with these release shows. And for the main event every Monday and Friday afternoon at 5 p.m. Eastern time with Brad and Joey Knish. So smash the like button, subscribe here to the Hit the Books channel. That's enough out of me. Saturday, September 9th, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Mr. Powers, I'll throw it to you. What is the pick? What is the game that we're looking at here?
Yeah, rotation number for you old school people, 377 game number. We're going to take Connecticut plus 3.5. I think value at 3 or more, obviously right around a key number. But I made the power rating. Pure power rating for me is 2.4. So again, we're a little over a point of value here, plus 3.5. We're taking Connecticut here, buy price 3 or more on the Huskies. Let's talk handicap. Why I think there's value on Connecticut. We got a data point for both teams. I was impressed with Connecticut against NC State. I bet NC State in the game. So it's not like my power rating is overly high on Connecticut. I actually liked what Connecticut did at the line of scrimmage. This is a much improved program. I think there's still priors from how bad this program was prior to Jim Mora. I even think last year, yeah, they far exceeded expectations, but I think people forget that they were as banged up of a football team as anybody in the country last year, particularly at skill positions. Now that they're healthy, it's a legitimate team that competed quite nicely with a Power 5 team. More importantly, why I think there's value, though, it's more of a play against Georgia State. Last week against Rhode Island, they got the win. And they obviously didn't cover as a 17-point favorite. They almost lost outright. And I'm here to tell you, they should have lost outright to Rhode Island. The plus 2 turnovers in the game, got outgained. And those 2 turnovers are key. We're talking about a pick 6, and the other interception was when Rhode Island was in the red zone, a second and goal at the 10-yard line. So they don't get those, they lose outright. And the market really reacts to a team losing outright to an FCS team. I kind of treated it as such, even though the final scoreboard didn't say that. So I think, good data point, bad data point. That's all we got at this point. Plus 3.5. Hopefully you got that number, plus 3 or more showing value.
All right, so there you go. There's our first and only pick of the day here today, but first pick of the Brad Powers release show every Monday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern time. We're going to track these on the main Hit the Books account that you can see all the other picks that are given out on Monday and Friday show at 5 p.m. Eastern time, so those will be tracked in there as well. Obviously, as we said for today, there is only the one pick, but going forward, there could be anywhere, I don't know, Brad, what are we talking? 3, maybe 5 picks, 1 pick. Yep. It could range any day given just what the market is at and what we're liking on the board that day. So make sure to be here at 9 a.m. Eastern time on the Hit the Books channel. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications as well. Like the stream. 400 people watching today. Thank you guys all for coming out. We do appreciate it. Brad, before we get out of here, any final words or thoughts from yourself?
No, I'm looking. It was cool to play guest. I switch over to host, obviously, with your main man, Knish. Hopefully he's on time.
Yeah, hopefully he's got a mic.
Yeah, I'm going to bet the no on that. Unless you got inside
I think I am too. No, I do not. There's a chance that I'm getting a call at maybe noon today saying I have to go to Detroit and get there on time for the show. So we'll see how that plays out. But Brad, appreciate you doing this. Thank you to everyone who came out to watch and support the show this morning for the first ever release show here. If you are looking for MLB content, you can head on over to Call to the Pen coming up after this, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. That is the MLB content over on Call to the Pen with John Legeza. And later this afternoon, right here on the Hit the Books channel, 5 p.m. Eastern time, Brad Powers, Joey Knish. We'll see if he's got a mic or if he even shows up at 5 p.m. So 5 p.m. maybe. We can mark that in the calendars. But turn on notifications so you get notified when we go live. Thanks to everyone who tuned in here today. Look forward to seeing you guys next Monday for the next release show. Enjoy the week.